Yeah, I think I've always been interested in business and never really sitting inside one box. Even since I was a kid, I've done things a little bit different to my peers and stuff. I've done dance, done drama, alongside playing football and doing athletics and gymnastics. So I was always kind of doing stuff that was maybe a bit different, and I think that's followed me throughout my life. Football's always been my #1 passion and always will be. But to keep my mind off of being in the doldrums sometimes after games, etc., and I keep my mind busy by doing business stuff. And I've got my magazine, the digital #5 magazine, which has been voted the best online lifestyle magazine. Is one of the things that I really love doing. My restaurant, and obviously my #5 clothing brand that's just at the moment taking off and doing really well. So these things keep me occupied off the pitch because I like to keep myself busy and just sometimes take my mind off of football, which I need to do. But I love it, and I don't do nothing that's any hindrance to my football, and that's always been the key, and always been with my management. That's what I've made sure that with Rio, who look after me in my business side of things and everything that I do. I tell them that whatever happens, that football's the priority and these other things have to be placed around it, and that's really important to me. For footballers to be in such privileged positions, I think it's imperative that we give back, and I think we probably don't get as good as press as we should maybe. I think footballers, I think 99% of footballers do stuff for their charities, whether it be their local charities or through the clubs. My charity, the Rio Ferdinand Foundation, is really close to my heart in helping young kids, and we've had a couple of thousand kids go through the courses that we provide to give them a chance to get on in life and attain qualifications, to give them a foothold in some sort of business or education. So I'll be continuing to do that probably for the rest of my life. But I think we're all doing it in one way, shape or form, and it's just that you've got to use your position if you've got leverage as someone in the public eye to highlight certain charities, and I think you should do that. I think that, yeah, being a senior player in the change room, that young players do sometimes come to you and ask your advice and how to deal with certain situations financially as well. And I've got a financial advisor who looks after my finances, but I've always been of the mindset that you just don't trust somebody with your money and say, yeah, you go and deal with my money and do what you're going to do, because I've seen people get burnt by doing that. You've got to take a full interest in it. It can be boring, but when you wake up at 35 years old and you realise that the person who's meant to be looking after your money has done a runner and he's on the other side of the world and you can't get hold of him anymore and your money's no longer there, then you'd have been thinking back, I should have been a bit more interested. So I always try and make sure the younger lads listen to that, and I carry out that practice in my life day to day. And when my financial advisor's got anything to talk to me about tax situations and different investments, I like to have a good thorough look through it and knowledge of what's going on before I actually commit to it. So yeah, that's the kind of information that I do pass on. It's just about fishing through the different people out there and meeting people and finding who you trust and who you get on with and who you feel is going to do the best for you. I think jumping in, when I was younger, I maybe jumped into relationships with different financial people too quickly, too soon. And over the years, when I got to about 22, 23, I found the right people after being in with a different couple of people who probably wasn't the best people for me. But I think you've got to learn from them experiences, and the sooner you learn and the sooner you get someone you trust, the better. And the current people that I've been with for around 12 years now, so and they've been good by me. Whether we're overpaid, it depends how you look at it. Are we overpaid compared to the public service people, the army who serve our country? I'd say definitely. But then you look at other sports and we don't get paid as much as a lot of other sports. The golfers, tennis players, basketball players, the American sports, the baseball and stuff, they get paid ridiculous money compared to what we get paid. But I'm not complaining. we get a great wage for what we do, and I'd play football for nothing. I'd still be playing football now if I wasn't getting paid. So I'm just very fortunate, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I think where you grow up, definitely, I use it as an inspiration for myself. When I was a kid, I used to always sit with my friends on the estate and say, look, I want to just play football and become a professional footballer, and I'll be happy with that. Once you do that, you start thinking, you maybe look around at your surroundings and think, I've got the capability now to really move my family out of the area that we grew up in, to give them my young brothers and sisters, a better chance in life to achieve things and to go on and be prosperous. And I managed to do that and move my mum and dad out and my brothers and sisters out of the area. But we've got family and friends there, and we visit there all the time, so it's not like you leave and don't go back, but you want to give yourself the best chance sometimes to achieve things. And sometimes if you're around and surrounded by some negative aspects that go on in your community, then you can get in trouble. So to negate that, I moved my family out and they're doing okay. So, but as I said, I wouldn't change my upbringing and where I grew up for anything. I loved every minute of it, and I wouldn't change that. A great advert for how you handle your image, in terms of if you want to go down that road of being in the media all the time and in the papers, in the magazines and stuff. He's done it. It looks like the perfect way, because he's always on the front pages if he does anything. He's in the magazines when he wants to be. It's just whether you want to do that and want to be like that. I mean, you've got him on one hand and you've got Paul Scholes and Ryan Giggs on the other hand, and they chose the other way. Giggsy could still go in a magazine if he wanted to and do stuff, but he chose not to do that. And I'm sure your list reflects that. If you want to do what Bex has done, you're going to get handsomely rewarded for that. But you've got the option to do that, and as I said, you can still see two respected people like Ryan Giggs and David Beckham, but at different ends of the media savviness or the media exposure, whatever way you want to put it. And how it can affect you financially. But I'm sure they're both happy, and I'm sure Giggsy's happy with his trophy cabinet.